is here. Come on, Jehovah, say it. Jehovah, you say it. I trust in you. Say it, y'all. Oh Lord, Jehovah, you. I trust, say it. I trust. Show me how to do it, y'all. In you. I believe, say it, say it. I believe you. I trust. Come on. In you. Oh Lord, Jehovah, you. Where you at? Come on. I trust in you. I believe, say it. I believe you are the God of miracles. You are the God of miracles. You are the God of wonder. You are the God of wonder. You are the God of power. You are the God of power. I believe, say it. I believe.
Can't hear the music. You muted yourself.
Come on, let your feet get heavy. Let's go. Come on. Somebody make some noise in here. Come on, catch it, Jehovah.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another week, Thursday. Some technical difficulties going on here. Right. So shut this down, go there.
Good evening. Happy Thursday. They're fixing their side on their end of the side. Their end. We should be good now. Can't hear you.
Can you hear us now?
Okay.
Now we can't hear you. Say something.
Say something.
I got it. All right. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us right here on the Village Talk Show. I am your host, Roderick F. Daly, Rudy. And we're here with our co-host, John Sampson, our co-hostess, Dr. Joanne Bryant. Just letting you know that you're watching the Village, listening, viewing the Village on 92.1 GD Radio. You're on Radio Gospel JA. We're on Facebook at Roderick F. Daly, Joanne Bryant, The Village Talk Show. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube, The Village Talk Show. Just look us up at The Village Talk Show everywhere you go. First of all, John, Joanne, welcome back to another week. God has blessed us to be back here with our villagers for another week. Welcome, John.
Welcome. It's always good to be back with you, Mr. Daly, and you also, Dr. Brian. It's always a pleasure.
Why you got to throw Dr. Brian in there? Just say you, Roderick Daly, and leave Dr. Brian out.
It's always a pleasure.
It's better to, yeah.
Let me tell you
You're
something.
such a hater. You are such an ultimate hater. I'm gonna say that.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get beat.
Lord.
How you doing, Dr. Brian?
I'm great. Thank God. I am great. Just looking forward to the
I'm
weekend.
wearing my cowboy hat, so I
don't know why. It don't look like a cowboy hat. It look like a West Indian hat. So I think you're a little mistaken. It has the, that's not cowboyish. Can you hear?
You feeling great, Doc? Why you feeling so great, Doc? What's going on?
It's Thursday night. Tomorrow's
Thursday.
Friday, and I get the
Tomorrow's
weekend. That's it.
John, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed with that comment.
What?
You know why I'm disappointed with the comment?
Why?
She's supposed to say it's Thursday. We're in the village.
Yeah.
Thursday night. Yes, we're on the village.
That's
and I get to sleep on Friday night. Yes, hallelujah.
I'm saying that. So basically, what are you doing? You think you're in college? You're gonna do a what is it called? An all-nighter? You're going to sleep tonight too, and God will help you wake up tomorrow morning. What are you talking about?
God willing, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, at any point, started from today. Success is not just spoken, it is done. What are you doing to be successful? So your success level this weekend is get some sleep.
Well, it's, you know what, we're actually having a family gathering and birthday party for my mom.
Oh, big up to your mom.
A party for your
My mom.
Big up to mom. Big up to
my
mom.
nephew, my niece. It's like a combination. We have 8 people in our family whose birthday is between yesterday and the next week or so.
Big up to mom. Where mom party at, man?
That's exactly what I was about to ask.
Where mom party at?
Why are we not invited?
Where mom party at?
You know, mom always invite you guys to anything. So
I've never seen
no invite.
I'm with John with this. I don't see no. I know I'm invited.
You're gonna call us the
invite. You're gonna call us
the party crashers. That's what you're gonna show.
We're gonna show up to the studio because that's where the party is, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, right? Because we got to invite to know exactly where the party is.
It's gonna be the party crashers. Tell mom we coming through.
You know.
Well, she's hearing you. She's watching you on YouTube. So
mom, we want to wish you a happy birthday. I think on the 12th.
It's her birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to wish you a happy and healthy and most of all a glorious birthday. But we be there on when's the festivities?
Yeah. So tell us first and foremost, mom is turning 50, right?
Mom is turning 50.
She's turning 50.
She's gonna have well, the best part is I have my brother flying in from Florida, my nephew birthday, who turned 9 yesterday, who's a COVID survivor, and mom, and then my niece. So they're like back to back.
You got a trifecta birthday.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody's celebrating together. And I know the Haitian family is large. I know that.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
So that means it must be a large party.
Yeah, exactly. Are we gonna have some what do you call it? Some black rice?
Du colapoi.
Well, I can't say all that in Creole.
Say
it again.
Du colapoi. That's your red beans and that's your red beans and rice. And then
are we gonna have some libation? We're gonna have libation.
Kisa.
Johnny Walker, El Dorado,
Babanku. We gonna have some babanku.
You could bring your own.
What does that mean? How can you have a party and don't have no babanku?
Well, it might be there. It might.
Hey, mom, we're gonna bring some babaku for you. We're gonna bring some champagne.
Some more wet, right?
Yeah. We're gonna sip.
Roderick has a special place in her heart, so that's
how Roger get there? Dag, I gotta work a little harder. Maybe I can get there. Dag.
You definitely gotta work a little harder. Mom Dukes and Pop Duke, they and Uncle, Jesus, they lit, dog. They're on fire.
Let me get some of the fire. Fire burn, as they say.
Mommy makes sure mommy, dad, John, they came to my house like last February. I think we're like right around February, right? February, March. And they put on a piece of prayer in my house for me, dog. Right? And when they put the prayer down for me, God knows, they move mountains, dog. They move mountains.
So they're prayer warriors. We always love prayer warriors. What happened to you, Doc? You a prayer warrior?
I am.
I don't see no prayers on this side. We don't see nothing. What's up, Doc?
You know what? Right. I'm pretty nice on the radio, but
listen. Whenever you say something she don't like, right?
She smiles.
She gives you the smile. Look at it. Look at it right there.
She said,
because she's like, a soft answer turneth against away wrath. That she give you the smile on her face, like, I wish you would. I wish you would. Continue. We're learning you by now, Doc.
Oh, that's good to know. That is very good to know.
Mom, happy birthday. We're looking forward to seeing you at the party.
There are a lot of things going on out there.
One of the first things that's going on.
Yeah.
I really want to talk about.
What's that?
What's up with that school shooting in Texas?
Not just in
Texas. There's one in the Bronx
today.
There was a stabbing in the Bronx today.
What's up with
And here's my twist on that, John. And then there are people who want to get rid of school safety.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying? So what it's so in Texas, right? Let's go back. Let's pull this up right here. Where's it, Andre? Is it on our feed? Right, in Texas. Hold on. So we have the constant school shooting coming up and stabbings recently happening nationwide, right? And go ahead, John, tell us what happened in Texas.
Basically, you have 4 people who were injured in the shooting at Timberview High School that's located in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It seems that there was the suspect has been apprehended. He's an 18-year-old child. It seems that 4 individuals, I call him a child, 4 individuals were shot. There was a 15-year-old, and let's pray for him. He's in critical condition. There was a 25-year-old who's in good condition after being shot. There's a third person identified as a young lady. She was treated for minor abrasions, released from the hospital. And the 4th person was hurt but did not require treatment. Let's make sure that we send a prayer out to their families and those who were impacted by the shooting. But also what happened transpiring in New York, the stabbing, just I think yesterday or possibly today.
It was yesterday. And then the person gave themselves in, and that they're complaining that they were being bullied. Right? They're complaining because the teenagers, the 18-year-old said he was being bullied in school.
Yeah, but it's true. A lot of these kids are mean and they bully some students, and it comes to the point now where some students just, instead of actually talking to the administration or talking to a psychologist, they feel they have no other resorts but to take it into their own hands. But it's a very sad situation because the decision this young man has made will have an impact for the rest of his life. But most of all, there's a lot of collateral damage that's going to take effect. And that's the people who've gotten shot, but also his own family and the trauma that they're going to experience, because this young man is going to be going through the system. And he may never see light of day. You never know. And
not to mention the school community at large.
Yes.
And one shooting at a school, a lot of times people say, yo, why? First of all, the shooting, now they're going to want metal detectors in the school. They want to increase school safety. There's so many things that want to happen. So, and we want to hear from you out there, audience, about that, right? So there's a big push to say, remove school safety from schools. When you hear things like this, what is your response to it?
But more so, Roger, not only their response, but to the villagers out there, what do? We have children. Mm-hmm. And what do we do when when our child or children in the community are bullied by another group of individuals? What are we to do, or what are they to do? What's the impact? What's not only the impact? What stopgaps measures that we have put in place to assist those young people who are bullied? Because young people can be
John,
mean.
We have to look from both sides.
I am trying
to.
Let me finish, man.
What I'm saying. I want you to include that.
I'm trying to include you, but you're trying to.
No.
Always jumping in before.
No, I'm not. What I'm trying to say is we got to talk about what not just the bullies, but the bullied. Right? Because they both have psychological issues.
But if you let me finish, then you would understand. That's what I was talking about. But before, as usual, you jumped to.
Yeah, I can't help myself. My mother told me. I
know.
My mother told me to shut up.
We are all co-hosts.
Thank you, mommy.
So let's, as I was saying.
Let me drink my gin and juice.
Yes, drink your gin and juice.
Yes.
As I was saying,
H2O.
I asked for the villagers about what justification exists for those who have been bullied to fight back. And
what do you mean by fight back?
Fight back. How do they fight back? How do they fight back?
Do
they engage in violence? Do they talk to their teachers? And if you talk to the teachers and you tell them, then you're known as a snitch. And then that's another connotation that exists in the community. So what devices that we have in place to really assist? What? Because let me tell you something. Back in the day, when we were bullied, we go home, we go get our brothers or sisters, or we get our homeboys. Mm-hmm. Then we come up, then we wait. and then we do what needs to be done.
But
But
that's still
it's not
happens
like
today.
that
Though.
no more.
But
Yeah,
it was a
nowadays.
fist fight, ladies and gentlemen of the village. It was a fist fight.
I don't know
We
about
never,
all of that.
we
John.
never went to get guns. We never,
That's
we
not
never
true,
did
John.
that. We
That's
never
not
did
true.
that.
That's not true.
I didn't do that. I just went to get my boys, and
Speak
it
for
was
yourself.
on.
Ladies and gentlemen, here right here in the village, that John was a bad boy.
Mm-mm.
Listen, in the 80s, in the 80s and early 90s,
I was not a bad boy. I was a very studious
Right.
individual.
right? In the 80s and early 90s, you had one of the highest numbers of killings in the United States during those times, coupled with the drugs, and then you add on the crack cocaine. That was the era of crack cocaine. You had a lot of killings, a lot of. That was when the Haitians were going up against the Jamaicans, the Haitian versus this, the Jamaican versus that, the Americans going against the Voltrons, Decepticons, and so also the start of the Blood and the Crips.
I don't know anything about that stuff.
Yeah, you liar.
I have nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I like to tell all of those things. But you're right, John. So all of us right here, the question becomes, I want to know what the villagers think about this. Snitches, what is it? Snitches get stitches?
It's snitch.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever the
Snitches
expression.
get stitches.
Yeah, snitches get. So in your community, you hear snitches get stitches and you're being bullied, but you know that you can't have a conversation because when you step outside, you're going to get beat up.
Well,
How do you go to the guidance counselor? What do you say to the guidance counselor or the dean, knowing that these things can happen?
I don't think in those instances you cannot say that you are snitching. What you are trying to do is you're trying to avoid a situation that could lead
To a
to
bigger situation.
a more magnified situation that both individuals can impact both individuals. So I think at that point you're not engaging in snitching.
But
What
they
you
don't
do-
look
what
at
you
it
tr-
like that, though.
Well, I mean,
That's the problem.
mhm.
They look at them like, hey, Mr. Sampson, Andre, is doing A, B, C, D, and E. I can't. He called me like, yo, you know what? I realized a lot of these things that people are talking about. The social media component of violence is deep, my dog.
But that's another discussion for what's going on with Facebook and the Instagram and the way it has the
Yeah.
impact on our community. The Instagram, everything
And Twitter.
and Twitter, and TikTok. You see
Yeah.
everything on TikTok now.
Now, this
Everything
is
on
the
Instagram.
territorial control and personal safety in neighborhoods today. Like you just mentioned, is social media influence promoting a false sense of unity,
Yeah.
which is true.
Right.
That's why I'm not on Facebook.
So I'm not,
You what Harry said. I'm not a snitch. I'm a public informant.
I'm proud of it.
I hear you, Horace. I hear you.
Horace,
How you doing,
public
my dog?
informant.
Yes.
Public informant.
I
The
thought it was
acronym.
confidential informant. I thought it was a CI.
The acronym snitch.
Hey, Dawn, thank you for joining us. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for joining us out there on YouTube and then
Hey, Sophia.
wherever you join us from, YouTube, Facebook, on the radio. Thank you for joining us. Our first guest is here, right? Oh, okay. Well, look, we could keep talking. So
Well,
Facebook.
I want to add something to
Uh-huh.
what you are saying. You're speaking about school. That's one element. But beyond school, we have people walking in the street going to get food, and it becomes a bigger thing. Or in the park. Yes, it could start in the school. It could start in the neighborhood. It could start anywhere. So what's your next step? Like I was speaking to one of my friends who's a guidance counselor. She mentioned that, hey, a big brawl happened the first week of school. It led up to the street, and then they met in a restaurant and they started fighting. Went and get more family members to start fighting. But here's the problem with this. When the parents get involved and hold down children to fight and videotape, that's ridiculous. That is beyond ridiculous. Like, what message are we sending? When will we be satisfied? Until somebody die? Until somebody get crippled. So it doesn't make sense to me. And then the whole shooting from the back, shooting in the head. I am so sick and tired of hearing young people get shot in the head the last 2 weeks. It's ridiculous, beyond ridiculous.
I had a situation, Joanne, speaking about that, more than 25 years ago, right? Or almost 25 years ago, where the child left the school to go fight at another school, and he was shot and killed, and his boy was shot. The reality of the situation, when people go into these fights, I'm not telling anybody to be a coward, or that's not the point, right? But when you put yourself in a situation and you step out there, you don't know the outcome. The outcome could be positive for you, that you might live, or might not escalate to a fight. But then the reality of the situation is that you might not make it out. So the other person's make it out 25 years, right? And I think you were talking about something like that, where a person went in to jail. You were talking about that last week, where the person went into jail before during the childbearing years.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then came out during menopause.
During menopause.
Right. So when you go into these situations, right, you have to basically know, what am I getting myself into? And you don't know. So it's not about being a coward. It's about, or what do we say? A coward man have sound bones, right? He who lives to run away lives to see another day. So these expressions are real expressions, and people need to understand it's about saving your life. I shared the story that back in the 80s, John, there was a guy right at Church Avenue, a Jamaican guy, Church and Kings Highway, over in that area there, Jamaican guy, that he went out, right? And he was walking by someone like it was I'm a bad mama jama, right? You have to respect me, know everything that's going on. He roughed up this young kid. And when I say, I'm telling the story because he's grown, and a lot of people are afraid of him. You know, this young kid, 15 years old, shot him in the back of the head and killed him.
Ooh.
At 15, killed him. So he was his kryptonite. I had another girlfriend who I've been using this expression today, and everybody's like, girlfriend, not a female friend, right? So she had a husband, and the dude one day, John, glued her door together because he was just picking on her. You know how he died? He you know, and that's why sometimes I tell people, you always got to be careful about what you say and do. He was in his building, his apartment building, started modding up somebody and hit him with a 2x4 in the back of the head, took him out. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not telling anybody to be a coward, but I'm also telling you that you got to learn to let things go. Some things are just not
worth
that important for you to, you know, things that are important. Yeah, you come in and you rape my family. That's a little bit strange.
As they say, let go, let God.
You know, I'm not your judge. What is it called?
Judge, jury, and executioner. But man, you mess with the family, I'm gonna be your judge, jury, and I'm gonna be your executioner.
There's certain points where I throw all of this talk out the window, and my real self, not my real self, my what do you call it? My street self comes out. That's a little bit different.
That's definitely.
Like I see, like, what was it that those young kids beating, punching the 50, 70-year-old woman?
Yes,
terrible.
You
saw that?
Terrible.
In Queens?
Mm-hmm.
Just walking by, just beating everybody up. You know, that to me, the violence issue, and then it just seems like there's so much more leeway, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? But there's so much more leeway nowadays with the criminal activities, right? I just feel like there's so much more of that. Hi, Yvonne, how you doing?
Your feedback.
Where are we? I can't even see this.
Well, it's Mom Prasad.
Yeah, Mom Prasad.
Hey, Mom Prasad, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Good evening to the village.
Yeah, good evening.
From Gail Muhammad. Andre's not here for me to do something.
Oh, Gail, what's up, my sister?
Right.
These kids are having more access to gun. Why? That's a great.
And
What's up, big? What's up, big Mo? Mo, I want to wish you a happy and healthy birthday yesterday. God bless you, and many,
Happy
many
birthday,
more.
Mom.
Right.
Oh, one more. Nayela, my girlfriend. Definitely
Okay.
happy
Clicking on
birthday
Andre, I just pulled back.
today.
So speaking of that, the 4 governors of the nearby states, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and I believe it was Pennsylvania, just form a pact that they're going to be discussing gun trafficking. It actually just came out this afternoon.
Glad you're doing good, Mom. Glad you're doing
right.
good.
It just came out. They're going to be working together to slow down the gun trafficking. About what's going on.
I'm good, Big Will. Everything's all right, baby. On the village, man. Hey, Gail, how are you?
A lot of fans.
Oh, John has a lot of fans. Yeah, he does, man. John is my boy, man. I'm a fan of John's.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I love me some John, man. He's the man. What's going on with the mayor?
Well, yeah, I heard about the mayor, but let me tell you something. And this is what happens when you have civilians who are not elected by the people. You have the DOI, and they talk about the mayor and his security detail. They don't know the numerous threats that the mayor and his family faces on a daily basis. If they were the mayor of the city of New York, I bet you 10-1 they would have the same security detail, even greater as the things that they do. This is the problem. I'm going to be very frank. This is the problem when we have a lot of I wouldn't call technocrats. I call these, what do they call? I call these ultra liberal, these reform people, these good governments. They can criticize and critique a situation, or what I call wannabe elected officials, until you get into the fire. So let your family be threatened every day by terrorists, by murderers, and let's see if you want to increase your security detail or have your child. If you know you're facing all these threats, I would want my child being picked up by security, or I'll pick my child up myself. So I mean, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying there is some legitimacy in that report, but one thing that the report did lack. The report, the individuals did not talk to the person who's the head of the mayor's security detail. And I think one of the deputy mayors, he got on with the blogs, and they talked about the number of threats that he had. The number of threats. So if they would have talked to him, they would have known how severe these threats were. Because I didn't know that the person who killed the head of the Gambino family in Staten Island was caught around Gracie Mansion, saying that he wanted to do a citizen's arrest of the mayor. I never knew that.
I didn't know that either.
And he went to the home and killed the Gambino boss in front of his house.
Now that's
you want that man. What people don't fail to understand, your immediate family is sometimes extended. Right. They become vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom, your kids, you're the mayor. The mayor of New York City is responsible for a budget that's billions of dollars. And somebody who's not psychologically sound,
right,
it will think that they don't even understand that the mayor can't just give you $3 billion, right? That's not how it works, right? Yeah. He just can't write a legislation. Hey, Dr. Brian, you need $3 billion. Let me give it to you. That's not how it works. So they will go out and threaten and sometimes carry through those threats. And nobody wants to see, I don't care who's talking. Nobody wants to see their mama, no matter what kind of relationship you have with your mama, your kids, your spouse, right? And then those people coming on and threatening your family.
You know what?
Imagine that threatening one of your kids here.
James, thanks for always you talk about community. James, you've always been in the community. My man James Archibald has always been in the community, always been looking out for members of the community. It's from the Caribbean community, the Pakistani community, the American community. But what I say is this: if in fact there have been threats of violence,
Mhm.
you know, the mayor does need his protection. His family
Yep.
needs his protection.
Absolutely.
And it's around the clock, irrespective of what people don't think, whether you like the mayor or not the mayor. But I guarantee you, if you were in the same position he was in, you would be humming a different
I have a
tune.
kid, I have a security agent standing outside my son's school until he gets home. The mayor doesn't stop being the mayor 9 to 5, 8 to 4, 7 to 3, 6 to 2.
Mhm.
The mayor is the mayor 24/7. If anything happens in the city, he has to wake up. He has to go attend it if it's severe enough, or send somebody.
I can understand if the mayor is looking to run for another position and he was
He
running
is
for president
for
at that point.
governor.
You know, the question is, should he have the protection of this? I think that if you're running for another position out of the country, running for mayor, I think that the mayor should be paying for that security detail.
I agree with that.
He doesn't stop being the mayor.
I understand that,
So
but why
people are
you
looking for
but
opportunity?
I understand that we're looking for opportunity. So that's something where you can work things like that out, the hours. But overall, I think the report just did not take into consideration the impact of those threats that have been on the mayor and his family, because anyone else would really want that security provided to them.
Well, I have to agree with you in regards
to we can't hear you.
What happened? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I just realized why Andre turned on the studio microphone.
You had to. The feedback was terrible.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. But I need to say this. Whenever you're a public figure or any type of anything, governmental official, not only in New York, but just worldwide, you are a target. And people don't understand how vulnerable you are. Look at the president of Haiti. Going back to that, in his house, he got assassinated.
Yep.
So now security measures need to be extreme after you can have a president assassinated inside their house.
100%.
So with New York being such,
capital, the financial capital of the world.
So like or not like, whatever, even the president, former president, whatever, they still need to be protected because of the role that they have and the role they continue to have in government. So that's my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Make it 5 cents, Doc.
Yes, John, I do this. I think his detailed period now, because like I said, I don't think that he stops being the mayor. You don't stop being the governor. When you control a large budget at that level, that doesn't stop. So at point, if they say, okay, he doesn't have his security detail, right? I even think he needs to have his security detail when he goes on vacation, for crying out loud.
Of course he does.
Right? Okay, but he's on his personal time. He's on vacation. But if something were to happen in the city, he would have had to come back.
I agree,
right?
but
So if you're running for president, are you going to not be the mayor anymore?
When you're running for president, who pays for it? It shouldn't be New York City.
But it should, because he's still the mayor.
No, I think at that point in time, if you're running for and you're using New York City resources, meaning it's their security detail, I believe that the campaign should be paying for that.
Now,
Right.
if he's not in office and he's running, he should not look for protection from the city.
We ain't talking about
I
office.
disagree with that. I disagree with that completely. If he's running for president, there should be a different budget, not New York City money that should be paying for him to run for president.
But again, my question is, did he stop being the mayor?
Well, he didn't. You know what? He took a pause on being the mayor because he's running
Right.
for office.
Exactly.
So you know what? No. The times that I'm using to run for governor, and I'm not dealing with city issues, that's the time that needs to be. I need to pay for that.
So 2-3 hours a day.
Well, it's 2-3 hours a day.
Exactly.
So then you won't have conversations like this. You're taking money. You know what? I campaign 5 hours. For that period of time, I'll pay the period of time for those officers who have protected me. That's what my campaign will pay.
Okay.
I mean that.
So he's giving a speech because he's running for president. That's not a responsibility of the mayor.
No, that's not the responsibility.
So therefore,
that's a responsibility of the candidate who's running for president.
What about the traveling? What about traveling tour?
That's a candidate. That's a
running
mayor who's a candidate for the president. So
again,
he has to pay.
But I'm saying if he's doing something, if he's going to.
But he wasn't doing it for New York. He was doing it for his own personal.
Well, if he was president, he was doing it for New York.
Right. So we don't care about that. He should pay back. That's it.
Let's talk about one of de Blasio's adversaries, sheer adversaries who did the unfathomable thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about the head of the Sergeant Union, Mr. Mullins.
I thought you were talking about Andrew Yang.
No, not Yang. Mr. Mullins.
He became independent.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's independent.
I don't know if
he is. He did. He became independent this week. He is.
No, he changed party, but they didn't say what he changed to. So you saw it say independent because he wants to form his own party. But John, so what we're going to talk about, Andrew Yang or Mullins?
No, we're going to talk about. Can we talk about Mullins? Oh, you know what, Doc?
Mullin all the way. Mullin all the way.
That's odd fingers is it. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3.
What's that?
Odd fingers it.
All right.
You didn't go, Doc.
That protection.
Hey, Jackie, how you doing?
Same funds, not New York budgets. 100%. 100%.
Jackie, you are totally correct.
I think that there's supposed to be a combination.
No.
No commingling of funds, my brother. Let it come from the campaign.
Wait, let me ask you a question. Hold on. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor de Blasio is in the middle of a speech.
Yes.
To rally the votes for presidency.
Yes.
There's a mass shooting in New York.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an imminent threat on his life at that moment.
Yes.
How do you switch back from mayor to president?
Is he giving the speech?
He was giving a speech for president.
New York.
Then there's now the cell phone goes off, and he now has to take on the cap of being a mayor.
From the period of time he was saying his speech, and at that point in time, the incident happens. He puts on his mayoral hat. From that period of time, if it's 12:05, he's acting as mayor, so he's covered. But prior to 12:05, when he's giving a speech, that's campaign. Yes.
Monday, I don't understand that.
I agree. There should be separation. That's what she's saying. The position that he wants to run for, they should separate the money. Boom. You want to go to Washington, D.C. to go and campaign all of this? Use your own personal funds or that fund for
Who's playing devil's advocate, Simone? I ain't playing no devil's advocate.
Yes,
I am. Actually, I am.
Because that's your boy you want to support.
And that's the point, Simone. He is mayor no matter what, 24/7, period. He's not a part-time mayor. So therefore, my position is, as the mayor, he is given a detail as the mayor. He ain't double dipping.
Yes, he is.
President. He's running for president.
Guess what? He needs to pay back and use the funds that he's running for president in order to.
That's why he's raising money. So, but irrespective,
I think he's going to run for governor.
He said he is, but
I didn't hear that.
Well,
you heard that. I heard the media say that.
Where you get your information from, Doc?
I didn't hear it from him. I heard it from the media, but he didn't say he was running for mayor.
Don't tell me don't tell me you're getting your information from Ed Mullins, the union president.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you. Who knows how many threats he receives? We don't know half of them. He needs protection while he is the mayor.
Can you stop eating the ice? You're driving me crazy.
I have to eat ice. I'm anemic, unfortunately. So that's why I'm eating a whole cup of ice. Actually, as a matter of fact, somebody, if you have ice, bring it. He runs for another office after his mayor term is over. He should be responsible for payment. Exactly. Once he's no longer mayor.
Once you
wait, hold on. Did you get a detail?
Yeah.
That's a good.
You had a detail, right?
Yes.
But you're no longer in that position you were before, right?
Yeah.
So now you shouldn't have a detail.
I don't need it.
Exactly.
I didn't have a detail when I was leader. I didn't have a detail. I didn't want a detail.
Yeah, whatever. You had access.
I had access, but I didn't.
As a mayor, he shouldn't be allowed to campaign as president on our tax-paying money.
All right, man. We beat this a dead horse already. All right,
That's a different story.
But
That's a whole different competition.
But let's get to Mr. Mullins. Let's get Mr. Mullins.
All right, so
the sergeant, the union president.
So the Sergeants Benevolent Association president Ed Mullins had been asked to resign by the executive body of the union of the SBA. Why? And so he agreed to resign on Tuesday after federal agents raided his home and the union office. There was another the corrections guy also a couple of years ago. He had to step down too. Norman Seabrook, right? In the past, he has been on the
Seabrook's case is a very interesting case. That involved a snitch. Who did some
snitches get stitches. You see what he's
the snitch was already jammed up, and all he says, "Hey, I'll bring you the big fish." Really set him up, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, look at John.
He's an informant.
That's John talking about the two sides of his mouth there, Simone.
Never talk about two sides of his mouth.
So in the past, so he has
stitches to get stitches. That's my motto.
Right.
I'm not a stitch.
I'm not a stitch. I'm a public informant.
No. We call those government informants.
Right. He has clashed with officials over incendiary tweets and hardline tactics. The executive board wrote to union members saying he is entitled to the presumption of innocence and asked him to withhold judgment until the facts have been established.
I agree with that.
The nature of the scope of his criminal investigation has yet to be determined. Serve them right.
Well,
but why do we always hold on to that? You're innocent until proven guilty.
But you are innocent until proven guilty.
Says who?
Let me tell you something. You know how many? Okay, hold on. Since you want to go there, let's go there. How many people have been wrongfully convicted, spent 30, 40 years in jail? There's one man spent 50. Hold on. Let me finish. Spent 50 years in jail and was innocent in California.
What about Central Park 5? You don't even have to go that far. Just go to Central Park 5.
Yeah.
All I'm saying. What
are you saying, man?
Nothing.
All right, then.
Because the person's innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
I'm just saying you're talking about two sides of your mouth.
I'm not talking about two sides of my mouth. You're innocent until proven guilty. But it's unfortunate when you're dealing with people of color, you are guilty until proven innocent.
I don't think it's just.
No, yes, it is.
I think it's a higher percentage, but I don't think it's just that.
I think that's what it is.
So the question is, why are they so tight-lipped? What are they hiding? What do you mean by what are they hiding? Who wants their private parts to show in public? What's wrong with you? What kind of question are you asking, Andre? No. Go ahead. Explain your question.
We have to give credit for producer. Right?
I'm giving credit to the producer. I want to know what you're talking about. Who wants their private to be hanging out? If you see the private hanging out, you call the cops, right?
Tackle them.
No, don't tackle me. Answer the question. Why are they being so tight-lipped? They have to be tight-lipped.
No, but
because snitches get stitches. And John told you that already.
You got to be tight-lipped, especially in these investigations. You know what?
Plus, he's a cop. Remember, he's still a cop.
Having my own encounter with the feds, my recommendation is this, and I tell you the way it is. The feds do not want to know what the actual truth is. The feds only want to know what they perceive the truth to be. And what they will do is they will do everything under the bun, everything. And when people say the feds are worse than the mob, they are worse than the mob. They are the worst.
Sometimes
because they will
the
do
whole
everything.
Government is worse than the mob sometimes.
They will do unscrupulous things in order to get what they perceive the truth to be. They will lie, cheat, steal, do everything to get what they want.
And the mob have a code, right? They have a code that they follow. So you follow the code, you're good to go. If you don't follow the code, you're gonna get whacked.
But there's nobody. Ever since Sammy the Bull opened his mouth, there's no code no more. There's no.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no code.
Is that the one that wore his pajamas?
No, That was who was that? Who wore his pajamas, Doc?
One of them wore the. She don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Gigante was the one.
When the new Joanne is one of those person that listen to the Hot 97 in the morning. She
What?
shows.
I listen to wait. I listen to Hot 97 in the morning. Absolutely wrong.
And 105.1.
What's wrong? What's wrong with that?
I don't listen to that. I listen to XM radio. That's it.
Look, thanks, Jacqueline. Truth, John. Yes, perception is word.
Whatever.
It's always whatever. When you don't agree with Mr. Daily Villagers, it's always whatever.
Actually, I agree with you.
Oh.
Sources say today that today's raid stemmed from a criminal investigation of federal prosecution in the Southern District of New York. He has made racist and profane statements against Black people. Mullins is in the middle of the department disciplinary proceedings for tweeting NYPD paperwork last
and I think, you know, I don't like to put my hand in someone else's stew or stir the stew up. My things with Mullins is he has been a divisive figure in this whole talk of police reform, police accountability. Mm-hmm. You know, I agree, he's not alone.
Is he one of those persons talking to side of their mouth?
You know what, definitely does. And this is, you know what, he's innocent till proven guilty, but we'll see what happens. But one thing I can you know, it always, I think the talk is a Republican is always conservative on crime until they get indicted. Mm-hmm. Once they get indicted, then all of a sudden there's everything wrong with the criminal justice. Now, I'm not talking about Joe Bruno. Joe Bruno won his case, so I got respect for Joe Bruno. May rest in peace. I'm talking about the Donald Trumps, those who got caught up in Donald Trump's webs by the feds, Roger Stone. A lot. They were all conservative when it came to. We're strong with law enforcement until they see the other side of law enforcement, and they actually see what we have always been talking about, dealing with law enforcement and the way they use these rules, these laws, in order to criminalize or activities that are civil, are not no need to be criminalized, but they criminalize these rules. So that's another thing. And this is why it's so important, ladies and gentlemen, that we stay off of Facebook. Mm-hmm. Right. I don't agree with that, but after that hearing,
I'm not saying nothing. We're using Facebook right now.
After that whistleblower, that woman came on and she said they are more concerned about profit.
Who's they? Who you talking about?
The Facebook. Because they saw the impact Instagram has
AOC on Alexandra. People. That's because she's mad.
That's not Alexandra that said that.
That's what I thought you said AOC. Yeah, Andre said yeah.
So we'll talk about Facebook, my brother.
I don't want to talk about. I started the Ed Mullins. You talk about. You let Joanne start with Facebook.
Doc, what's about Facebook? What's the issue with Facebook?
Listen,
and then she takes it. Let me see that smile, because the smile is coming. We know you.
The killer smile.
Yeah, the killer smile. Go ahead, Doc.
So, the former employee who decided to have this conversation and share why.
The whistleblower.
Yes.
AKA snitch.
The snitch. That's the word of the day, the snitch.
Horace,
hold on, Horace, you like the word snitch?
No, public informant.
Right? Why can't be both, Horace? Can we use the word switch interchangeable with public informant?
Go ahead, Doc. Let Doc finish. Go ahead, Doc.
So they mainly state that it's a bad influence for young people, you know, with the body image and everything else. It is. It truly is, because kids are more concerned right now about their image more than being healthy or anything to that extent. But it's promoting, hey, this is how you should look. But this has been an ongoing thing, not only on Facebook or Instagram. This is where I disagree, because half of those magazines that you watch, or, you know, TV shows, everything. So if we're gonna go and say that Instagram is promoting this or Facebook is promoting this, where the young people are saying Facebook is for the older crew and Instagram is for the young people who are hip, So I can't blame Facebook for something that has been around for a long time.
But
So
but doesn't Facebook have some sort of social and moral responsibility
like
to?
the magazines,
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm not saying magazines. I'm talking about Facebook.
TV shows, same thing. You know, you could go outside, you could go to a store, they're promoting different things all over. So you
Uh,
can't blame one entity just because. The music videos, they're promoting that. So should they, whatever rules is applied to one platform should be applied to everything else.
as Jacqueline, hey Jackie, this Jacqueline says, staying off Facebook is not the answer. The problem is that people are not thinking about what's being posted and are too lazy to do the research in order to be able to discern what facts and what's not facts.
Well, who the people?
Jacqueline,
Who's the people?
you
No, wait,
are-
wait. Who's the
no, she's
people?
totally correct.
Who are the people? Are we
we
talking about? Wait, wait. I'm asking a question. Is it the owner of Facebook, the Zuckerberg company? Are we talking about the people who are utilizing Facebook?
I
Or
believe
are
she's
we talking about the
the-
people who are accepting that information for fact?
I think
There are a whole
she's-
bunch of people
I
there
think she's
involved.
talking about all three categories.
You think so?
Yes.
All right. And I mean, I have this conversation all the time with people. You take everything, everything that they say. I agree with everything that you're saying, Joe. Everything. Right. And I also agree with you. Right. Because at the end of the day, and Jackie, people utilize Facebook and whatever the new in thing is. Back in the days was MySpace. When we started out with MySpace with that conversation, Netscape, MySpace, Snapchat, all those things that came into play because people are looking for places where they don't need to identify themselves. They don't have to, there can be no truth, right? Not that there cannot be no truth, but it doesn't have to be true.
Right.
Or you find your echo chambers.
Right. And or you want to get what we used to call people do things for their 50 minutes of fame.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes out there. How many hits? Like kids putting up foolishness, boys and girls dressing inappropriately to see how many hits they can get.
But guess what? What did they do when the outage happened for 6 hours?
They're freaked out.
Exactly. And many of the online business.
That was a good day of school. That sounds funny, but that was a good day of school.
But you know what, Roderick, I would agree with you.
Uh-huh.
That's a good day of school, and Jackie, you're right.
I disagree with that, Jackie.
That the users are responsible?
Yeah.
I disagree.
Why?
It's just like who came first, the chicken or the egg, right?
The egg came before the chicken,
right? That's what you think, right? But that's not even a question that I'm asking. If there's no chicken, how can it be an egg? And if there's no egg, how can it be a chicken? There's never an answer. But I always say that you can't just blame one. I always look at you can't blame
one party.
Now, as you heard me say, especially with education, I said the parents have the higher blame, right? I don't think the users have the higher blame.
So the users can espouse. They can put anything on
exactly.
There. They can put anything
because
on
there's
there.
no.
So they have no responsibility. Either.
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
So what are you saying then?
What I'm saying is that if you give me our boss at this radio station, right? Our boss at this radio station says, Mr. Daly, you can't say certain things on the air, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's period.
Right.
So I have to tell both of you that you can't say certain things on the air. Mm-hmm. And if it slips out, we have to try to correct ourselves immediately, right?
Right.
So who's then managing what comes out?
Mm-hmm.
So that means you have to monitor.
If I'm allowed to do certain things, that remember, the rule of science tells you that disorder is desired, right? No, I'm sorry. Is that correct? Order is desired. Disorder is what's created. So if I am allowed to do whatever I want, I am going to do it. So the same thing with Facebook. If there's no control over what is being said.
Mm.
And I'm gonna say what I want. If I could walk in here, John, and punch in your face and don't have no consequence, what's that television show? Anarchy or something like that? Is that what it's called? So you do whatever you want.
That's similar to what your former president stated, that he wants his Twitter
if you want
account,
to come in
he
here and
wants his
punch me
Facebook
in the
account,
face,
he wants
then
Instagram.
you have to suffer the consequences that will follow.
Right,
which
but
is
I
the,
should be able to do that. And I should be able to do that. People throw anything out there on Facebook, anything at all.
But you know what the problem is? They throw it out there and people take it for truth.
Exactly.
They carry it. It carry it over and over. Was
They
Jack
sure
saying
did
again?
tweet out.
Yeah,
I didn't even know. Those apps were down because I was working.
Why do people always make that statement? Why, Jackie? I'm upset with you for the middle sentence there, man. What did people do before Facebook? Before there was Facebook, they found something else to do. Negativity is not yesterday, Jackie, because of Facebook, right?
You know what this is? This no.
Read a book.
It's this.
Listen to music.
It's
right.
this.
Well, you had that. Remember back in the days? Wait. Back in the early 90s, no, in the 80s, it was the boombox. Yeah. That blasted the music around the place like they're crazy. Right? Then it was the Walkman. Some young kids like a Walkman. What's that? And then you had the
CD player.
Then you had the what's that? What's it called, Joe? The Discman. The Discman.
Yeah, the CD player.
Right, the Discman.
Mm-hmm.
And they found something to do. That breakdancing, that was their form of communication back in the days. Right? Clean your house. Shoot. I don't care what kind of music is in my house. My mama said the house had to be clean no matter what. And I had a phone. And she said, you better come upstairs and clean that room, boy. Or you get a boss head.
But
but you're right, they don't clean their room no more. They look at you like, you should clean it. Why don't you clean it?
But and that has a lot to do with all the misinformation regarding these vaxxers versus the unvaxxers. But you know what? Northwell terminated 1,400 people.
They did not terminate nobody.
Oh gosh, here we go again with Mr. Daly. What did they do, Mr. Daly?
They did not terminate nobody.
What did they do, Daly?
The 1,400 people let themselves go.
Oh,
God.
Semantics again.
Not no semantics.
Yeah.
Listen, you had a choice.
Okay.
The choice was take the vaccine and keep your job, or don't take the vaccine and lose your job. You had a choice.
So they were fired.
No, they were not.
They were fired.
Chose, the 1,400 people chose to lose their job by not taking. Now, I am not going to sit here and tell you that you have to take the vaccine, but it's a choice that you're making. Because if you took the vaccine, what? If I was in that position, I'm taking the vaccine. You think I'm going to lose my job for that? You're mad.
The person who gave them that choice, essentially, you're saying, tell them to take it. That you want to get a job, take it. But I'm not going to tell you not to take it.
Doc, get him, please, Doc. Before I do, get him, Doc.
So here it is, and I agree with.
Okay, okay. You're not going to talk to me unless you a little more animated than that. You're not. You're too laid back. Become more animated.
Listen, I'm not you. I don't have to be animated. I'm not on.
I hope you're not me. You look much better than me. I don't want that crap.
True.
Hey. You're supposed to be on my side.
True.
So here it is. Many of them are saying we were essential last year when we didn't have the vaccine. We're going in. We're supporting people. We're doing all of that. And then all of a sudden, several months later, a year later, we're not relevant. We're not, no consideration or whatever. Their life was at risk and they still went in. So now, all of a sudden,
thank you, Jacqueline.
Because they decided not to be vaccinated.
They're
not relevant anymore. It's a choice.
Read Jacqueline. Yeah, thank you.
They were not fired. They choose not to be vaccinated, hence lose their job. But getting back to my point, they were relevant last year, essential last year,
relevant now.
Essential this year, because
they're relevant now.
Because they decided not to take a vaccine.
Absolutely.
Take a smack in the face.
You make your decision.
Smack in the face.
Wait. Just like every parent who decide they don't want to have their kids vaccinated for school, take the vaccine. I don't want them in my school. I don't want those parents I don't want those kids in my school, and I'm an administrator. I don't want them in my building because you're jeopardizing my other students at a higher rate.
But here's the thing. There's
What?
no guarantee with the vaccine.
There's no guarantee with nothing in life.
Everybody is saying, oh, you take the vaccine and everything will be all good.
No,
and
nobody says that.
There's no guarantee.
Nobody says
for the
that.
vaccine.
That's
So
what anti-vaxxers want to
putting
be
all
said.
these mandates. And there's
Nobody
no
says that.
No, there's
No.
no guarantee.
No,
I'm sorry.
there is no.
Villagers, we
Yeah.
have struck a very critical note right here.
There is
between the two.
nobody
You hear this?
from there is nowhere.
There's breakthrough constantly happening.
Hello, there is nobody on the vaccine.
Dr. Brian is getting animated.
Yeah,
now.
that's what I'm talking
Yes.
about. There's nobody with the vaccine, right? That's pro-vaccine who states that it stops COVID. What the statement is that it slows down and decreases overall the effect, right? The effect of COVID. Nobody says there's anything out there that stops COVID.
Maria says, sorry, nobody is saying that.
Exactly.
So what are you saying, Mr.
That's what she's saying. That's exactly what
What's
Maria's
she saying?
saying.
Hold on, what's she saying?
Maria's saying that nobody's saying that the vaccine stops COVID. Nobody.
We don't know.
Okay, go ahead, Maria. Go ahead, Maria. They said that they don't know which side you're saying it on, right? But at the end of the day, it's the slows down what, right?
Mr. Bowman, my brother, it's blessed to see you.
That's
Red
exactly
J,
correct.
the fact is vaccinate or
Or vacate.
vacate.
That's it. It's a choice. If
Well,
you
guess
stand with
what?
that choice, then take
They're
the
putting-
consequence of that choice. Just
Once
like
they
I
start
made a
putting that
comment,
mandate on
What?
the firefighters, like they mentioned, firefighters
they
are
will be
going-
mandated.
Yeah, they will be mandated, but they're gonna have less and less fire people to it's a problem.
What they're gonna do?
See.
Oh.
Hold on, Maria agreed with the doctor.
No,
Exactly.
she does not. Read.
That's not saying that the
Dude,
vaccine is
dude,
going
you
to
can't
stop
read.
you from getting
You
COVID.
can't read.
You can't read.
I feel you
see,
can't
you're
read.
attacking me, villagers. He's attacking me. He's attacking
Right?
me.
Exactly. They're not saying that the vaccine is going to stop you from getting COVID. And people keep giving that misinformation.
No, we know
Right?
that.
And everybody,
But what does the vaccine do? It does.
It helps, right? When you get the
Thank
COVID,
you, Jacqueline.
right?
You still get COVID after it.
There
Many
you go.
people
All
get
vaccine
COVID.
does is slow down the chance of your contraction, and it improves your ability not to go to your demise.
However, there's
That's-
some people who have been vaccinated and have met their demise.
Yes,
Exactly.
but it's at a high. It's probably right. Right. So everybody who's saying, "Oh, if I get the vaccine, I can still catch COVID," but nobody's not saying you can't. Right? Nobody's saying you can't. So I don't understand why people keep talking, "Oh, if I take the vaccine, I could still get COVID. Why do I need to take the vaccine?" That's not what they're talking about. They're saying you're playing the probability of doing something. That's it. So if you get out there, you get the vaccine, you're less likely will have a major effect than anybody else. Less likely, less probable, not improbable, or not at all. And those mistakes that people, the anti-vaxxers, when they make those statements and I listen to them, I'm like, you are not really listening to what is being said. You're just like Facebook, social media spreading propaganda. Why is everybody silent?
Hold on.
Why everybody silent?
No. Silent about what? Caller.
Caller, you're live. Caller, you're live.
She didn't want to hear your propaganda, Mr. Deadly.
Oh, is it on? Oh, volume. Yeah, that's our producer today is just having fun. Caller, you live?
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, why you see? That's
Yes,
why you
we
and
can
I.
hear you. Yes.
That's why you and I gonna fight, man. You're lucky I love you, man. You're lucky I love you, because that's why we're gonna fight. Now we're gonna have to completely switch topic because of you. but I love you though. So you're lucky. You're just lucky. Welcome to the show, Olivia Magro. Dr. Olivia Magro, how are you?
No, I'm not a doctor. I don't have a doctor.
I didn't need you to correct that. I know that already.
Okay.
All right, let me correct. Professor Olivia Magro. Is that better? No?
Yeah, you choose to call me that, but yeah, that's fine.
No, that's another Joanne right there. Calm, simple, and waiting to let the fire burn. No? Sister, good evening. How are you? Welcome to the village.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Olivia Magro, Professor Olivia Magro. She just branched off and wrote a book, and want to come on the village and talk about it a little bit. You said you had some things that you wanted the audience to see, right? Did you get them, Andre? So let's introduce yourself first, Olivia.
My name is Olivia Magro, and I've written a book called The Fortunate Fall. And
you gotta say that a little slower. The Fortunate Fall.
The Fortunate Fall, and it comes out in November.
And what's the book about?
Congrats, first of all.
And congratulations, yes.
The book, thank you. The book is a crime thriller, and it's about a woman who she embarks on a new career, and she starts a new job, and within, say, a few weeks, she starts noticing things strange about the job, including her boss, who is verbally abusive.
To her, or just
to her, to her coworkers, and she basically discovers that he is involved in some embezzling. So he's investigated, and then he sort of seeks revenge. So there's a lot of twists and turns in the story. The victims, while they're going through this with this man, they're also having to navigate their own personal lives, dealing with fidelity, infidelity, love, friendship. So there's a lot of twists and turns in the book. So far, the feedback has been really great, so I'm excited about that.
So you're saying this book is like what's that movie? Well, it was back in the days with James Patterson, The Firm, that kind of book.
John Grissom.
That's the name. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Somewhat. Yeah.
Okay. Tell us what motivated you to write this book.
Well, it's interesting. A couple years ago, I actually wrote the book a couple years ago, and it was really at a dark time. I had lost two very close friends of mine, and different life events. I had broken up with my boyfriend, and then I was laid off from work. And I was so overwhelmed with grief that I decided to go to therapy. And while I was at therapy, my therapist suggested that I write a book. And because I was so overwhelmed with grief, I just wanted something that would allow me to escape.
Right.
Not escape from my reality, because I know I had to deal with whatever issues that were going on at that particular time.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, kind of keep me busy and focused. And so he suggested that I write a book. And so I thought about it, I prayed about it. And the next day, I just started typing away. And then as I went along, the story just came to me. And it was just, really excited about it. I spent hours and days just writing. And probably halfway through, I reached out to see if I could get an accountability partner. because I was feeling a little overwhelmed. I knew that there was more to the story, but I was just so mentally exhausted because I had spent months just writing. And I found a person. She was in Portland, Oregon, and she was writing a memoir. So both of our novels were dark, so we could relate to each other in that way. And so basically every week we would set up goals. Hey, you write a chapter, let's write a chapter, let's say by Friday. And we would read to each other. He also had a book coach, which I didn't have.
Right.
And, I was like, well, I can't afford a book coach. But she said, don't worry about it. I'll share with you what she's telling me. And if you have any questions, just give it to me and I'll ask her. And so that's what we did. We bonded, and we were able to make it to the finish line.
You know what? I have to commend your therapist, who actually gave you a wonderful strategy in dealing with some of the grief and some of the anger or some of the difficult moments in your life. And I remember when I was going through some hard time, I had a friend who told me, write. This would be great for you to write. I listened, but did I do it? No, because I was, when you're going through, many times you don't want to write, you don't want to do things. But when you come out of what you're going through, and you look back at the progress that you made and sharing your experience in different ways, it's a wonderful thing at the end. And the fact that you were able to write through the difficulties and see the end come to life, that's even greater, to be able to publish it and turn it into a whole story. So congrats on that, wholeheartedly taking pain
Thank you.
and turning it into something positive. That's big.
Olivia, do you
Thank
have
you.
any previews of the book, or
I have actually have a trailer that I sent to Andre.
Andre, maybe we can put the trailer on for our listeners and our villagers. We're going to do that. 2, 1, here's a trailer.
Pre-order The Fortunate Fall by Olivia Almagro today on Amazon.
Alicita Caridad.
Is that gluten free? Mira, muchacha, ¿y quién es gluten? They'll just adjust.
Alicita Caridad.
Is that gluten free? Mira, muchacha, ¿y quién es gluten? They'll just adjust.
and you're of Cuban descent, right? And so part of that, why you hear the Spanish. Is there an English version to that? I mean, we didn't hear. I'm fortunate with the audience. I'm sorry that you can't see the whole thing with the the trailer. So just tell us a little bit about the book, about the film that won an award.
Okay. So just to wrap up with the book, just so everyone knows that the book is coming out in November. So last year during the pandemic, I had the opportunity to produce an animation. And I previously have worked with these two young men who produced a cartoon called Little Ron Ron, which is a popular animated series on YouTube. They have millions of followers. I was with them from day one and was able to help them get to where they are today. And so I wanted to, create an animation that would, resonate with children. And so I approached an animator and started producing it. And I was fortunate enough to get Tahiri Jose, who is a reality star actress. She was in season 3 and 4 in Love and Hip Hop. I think most people probably know her as Joe Budden's ex-girlfriend.
Tahiri, yes.
And we also have L'Oreal, who was on season 4 of Love and Hip Hop. She plays Sophia. Tahiri plays the lead, Alicita. She does the voiceover for Alicita. L'Oreal does the voiceover for Sophia. And then we have an actress, another actress from Los Angeles. She plays the grandmother. And so basically the cartoon is about a little girl, a child prodigy who's 7 years old, who lives in Washington Heights. And her family's from Dominican Republic. And in this particular episode that she struggles with her self-acceptance. She's in a new school and she reaches out to her favorite YouTuber who manifests into her inner voice. And her name was Sophia. And so she basically leans on Sophia to get advice. But again, it's her inner voice. We wanted to play on the idea that everyone has an inner voice. Sometimes it tells us good things, sometimes it tells us bad things. But in this case, this is someone that she reaches out to. And this idea was actually inspired by Issa Rae in Insecure, where she's in the bathroom and she's rapping in the mirror. And so we wanted to play on the same thing. And so she's having a little, little issue in school, and she basically, goes to school along with Sophia, and she's encouraged to kind of confront her fears. And so in essence, that's pretty much what the episode is all about. You're introduced to the grandmother who
let me ask you a question. You said you keep mentioning episodes, so you plan to this will become a series on, if it's a series, I mean, I understand that they're speaking Spanish. Is there the English version to the piece?
It's in English. There was only one little piece that's in Spanish.
Okay.
And that's when the grandmother was talking, and there's subtitles.
Okay, I saw that. We did see the subtitle.
Yeah. So the whole thing is in English.
Okay, so you mentioned that your book was coming out October this month.
No, in November 1st.
November 1st is the date of your book. And where's this going to be? In New York? It's going to be in Miami? Where's it going to be?
So the book will be available all over.
No, I'm saying the book release party.
Well, I initially wanted to do it in September, but because I have a lot of older members of my community back home that would love to attend, I didn't want to compromise them with COVID and the Delta variant. So we decided to postpone it. And so maybe possibly in January, we may have a release, a book launch.
Well, that sounds good. That sounds very good.
I'm going to assume that also will be virtual. Am I correct? Are you not sure?
No, it wouldn't be virtual. It would be in person.
Right.
Connecticut.
Okay. That's, she's a local girl. She's from one of our tri-state from Connecticut here. As a matter of fact, she went to a beautiful HSBCU in Atlanta. Right.
Now, when you were talking about your book, I thought it was more adult wise, and then looking at your
Right,
series,
it is an adult.
Okay.
Right.
So the series you went from
adult.
Okay. So you have a children's series and an adult book all at the same time?
You know what? It's interesting that fortunately it came out that way because I wrote the book a couple of years ago. And last year I started going through the editing process. And at this point, because I wrote it a couple of years ago, I just decided, you know what, it's time for it to come out. Then we were done with the, last year I worked on the animation. So it's in the film festival circuit.
Nice.
There's supposed to be a film festival in New York. Is it in it as well? Coming this month?
Yeah, there is one in New York. Yes.
Okay.
You'll be participating?
So, yeah, we were selected to participate
Congrats.
in the New York Film Festival. Texas, Nigeria, we won Best Children's Film in the DC Black Film Festival.
Nice.
So, so basically the cartoon, it hasn't been seen publicly.
Right.
It's in the film festival circuit. So technically no one has seen it.
We're looking forward to it, to see it.
Thank you.
And I love the animation. Little girls looking like themselves. Thank you for putting something where we can recognize, hey, you know what? I do have big puffy hair, and I appreciate that. So thank you for doing.
So you got big fluffy hair down?
I wanted to
puffy. I said puffy, my friend.
Yeah, I wanted to produce a cartoon to show one, being an Afro-Latina, my mother's Cuban and my dad is Jamaican. One of the things that I wanted to show was that Latinos come in all different colors.
Yes.
Races,
True.
And so I intentionally made the grandmother dark skin, the mother light skin, and the daughter brown skin to show that in Black families, we have different, complexion variations sometimes. And so I was very intentional on that. Yes. And I definitely believe representation matters. And, I don't know that many cartoons that are out there with little girls, unless Dora the Explorer, but with Afro Puff, there aren't any. Well, I know that
used to be back in the days.
Actually, the Pog family is coming back out.
That's the one.
That's pretty exciting. Yeah. But aside from that, there aren't any.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to create something that will celebrate her culture.
Yes.
But not to the point where people might not understand it. So, like I said, the grandmother is the one that's really the one that may come in and speak Spanish. But there's subtitles and it's fully in English. And we are working on a Christmas episode because I do want to turn it into a web series.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm working on the holiday episode. And I have a new animator. Unfortunately, the first animator, he's really busy working on his own project. But I have another animator who is based in Mexico. And but the characters will look the same. We are doing some enhancements because my animator was self-taught. He did an amazing job, but he's self-taught. And so, you know, we're just going in and making some slight enhancements. And like I said, the holiday episode.
You're breaking the glass ceiling, my lady. You're breaking the glass ceiling.
Thank you. Now, ideally, I would love to have this for the New York public school system.
All right.
And have episodes to share with the kids.
Right.
In the school system, and develop a curriculum around it. So that's definitely a goal of mine.
Mm-hmm. That's a good goal to have.
Yeah, you know, and you know, trying to get that done would be ideal. I want to go back to the book for a moment. So have you thought about, you know, at the onset thinking about making it into a movie, into a television show? Have you thought about any of those things as yet? Or right now you're just focusing on the book release?
Well, you know, it's interesting because I'm actually currently working on the audiobook.
Okay.
And I've had a couple of friends.
Who's the reader?
The reader is, you know,
because John and I were not asked to be the reader, right?
That's true.
Yeah, we weren't asked. Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Men and women, I would say from 25 and over. It is an adult book, so and I definitely see that this could be a movie. Mm-hmm. That's why I did the film trailer, the book trailer, in a cinematic view,
mm-hmm.
because I could see this as a film.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm working on the audiobook, and a lot of my friends that have been listening to the audiobook have shared with me that they can totally see it as a movie.
Yeah, I'm hoping it would be like it would be like the Firm. That's how I alluded to the Firm back in this, because I remember you know, that book, when the book came out, and the series with John Grisham, all of them made it to the big screen. Tom Cruise, and I remember those. So it's something to look forward to. So you have your book coming out November 1st. You have the film festival. You know, you have a date or anything like that on the film festival?
Well, so for example, the DC Film Festival, obviously that passed. We just participated in the Festival de Cine in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
North and South Texas. We participated in that one. We're going to be in another screening in Queens, New York. And we're also been invited to participate in a screening in Eastern Nigeria.
Very nice.
And there's quite a few more, quite a few festivals that we haven't heard from yet. They haven't announced. So we still have a little ways to go.
When Queens? When are you coming to Queens?
Well, you know what? It's going to be virtual.
Okay.
Well, you know what? It's not going to be virtual, but I will be participating, I think, virtual.
Okay. Now I'm going back to your animation that you have. What did you do first? Did
Uh-huh.
you write the script first, or did you create the characters? Which one? What step did you take?
I definitely created the characters first. I knew that the name the name of the animation is called Alicita,
Hmm.
and it's in honor of my mom. Her name was Alicia Almagro, and Alicita is short for Alicia. And so I knew, so I basically created the characters first,
Hmm.
and then afterwards we created the script. So we went back and forth, back and forth. You know, I didn't want it to be stereotypical.
Right.
I wanted there to be a message, but I didn't want it to be too messagey, not messagey, but too much of a message that it's not entertaining.
Right.
So I was trying to accomplish a lot in that one time.
Mm. You know, and I guess what's your message? What are you just trying to There's a theme, there's a message in this whole thing. What is it?
The message is that you can, that everyone has that inner voice. And sometimes it's that gut instinct. It's that intuition. And that sometimes you go back and say, something told me not to do it, and I just ignored it and I did it anyway. And so we wanted to, again, play on the idea. And initially, I was going to have the mom have a long conversation with Alicita, the little girl. And I was like, you know what? I would like to see where she can handle it herself, handle the situation herself by using her gut instinct.
That's what we should always use, our gut instincts. You're right. We should always use those gut instincts. And this seems like this is going to be, a hit. And, I just hope you don't forget us here at the Village. When's my signed copy coming through? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, so Villagers,
Right.
we expect to be a part of this whole book signing stuff. So we
Right.
look forward to it. And I just want to thank you for coming on this evening and taking your time.
Thank you so much.
It's important. I don't know, my co-host is busy making sure that you make sure you come on the show next time, because we want that autograph book.
Right. And I just want to be clear that the book is for adults. And in the animation, obviously, it's for children.
Mm-hmm.
And the book is called The Fortunate Fall, and it comes out November 1st. It will be available on paperback,
Nice.
audio, and hardcover back.
Is there any way that people can get a copy of the book now? Can you send us a link or something that we could put up on screen?
Well, you can certainly do. So the book won't be available to November, but you can certainly do a sale. So I can certainly send a link.
All right.
But as
Andre
far
said
as
to
the
send him.
official book-
Andre said to send him the link, and we'll put it up. So, Olivia, we want to thank you so much for sharing your experience, and congratulations on both the award and the book. And John and I are both looking. I know Joanne is not, but John and I are both looking to be part of the movie when it comes out. Right?
Oh, definitely. Let me know.
All right.
I love how they excluded me out of the whole equation.
Jacqueline wants to know, will it be sold on Amazon?
Yes, it will be sold on Amazon.
Not our autographed copies, but the other ones will be sold on Amazon.
All right.
All right, thank you very much for being on the Village.
All right.
And we're looking forward to great. We wish you all the great success.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right. Awesome.
So Villagers, let's get back to, just a few minutes ago, the house.
What was the last topic?
The house. We done moved on.
All right.
Congress was able to extend the debt limit until November.
The dead limit.
The
It's
debt.
not even the depth. Is the dead limit.
The debt limit. You know, villagers, please, I want your input on this. How are our Democrats in Washington doing? How is the president doing? You know what? This raising of the debt limit, the Republicans play hardball all the time.
Every time.
Always outmaneuver
we
the
drop.
Democrats.
We drop like a rock in water, man.
If we don't get this debt limit extended, which they did 3 times under Trump, and the biggest hypocrite of them all, Mitch McConnell, saying this is something that needs to be done. However, when Biden is president, the Democrats have both houses. It's something that, we can't do that.
It's against the government.
It's against the government. You have to do it on your own.
Did anybody ever tell John?
But my thing is, let the debt limit expire on October 18th. Stop playing chicken with us. You're kicking the can down the road until November. November, he's going to play the same cards again. He's going to extract what he wants to. The Democrats did not learn.
They're weak.
The Democrats did not learn from the Supreme Court, the way they pushed that Supreme Court's seat within 3 weeks. They did not learn. I mean, enough is enough. I mean, the Republicans play for keeps. Let me repeat it again. The Republicans play for keeps. The Democrats, the Republicans are always playing chess, while the Democrats are always playing checkers. And they always outmaneuver this. And you know what the people in this country are saying? The Democrats are in control. And you know what?
There's no change.
They cannot run government. Afghanistan. Now the debt limit. The borders. The vaccines. This is one of the lowest approval rates for President Biden.
Because you know why, John?
You know why? Because
he's not stirring. He's not.
And you know what? And the president should know, because he's dealt with these cats. I would say, you know what, Mitch McConnell, let the debt limit expire. Let it expire. Because they know that the Democrats will go all the way to the cliff, but they won't jump off. They need to jump off the cliff, and Republicans leave them holding the bags. This is why next year, if we're not careful, honestly, they will lose both houses.
Yep.
They will lose both houses, and Mitch McConnell always outmaneuvers them. It is pathetic. It is really pathetic. It's just disgusting to see. I understand we don't want to put the society in the economic, our financial situations in turmoil, but damn, in 2 months, what's going to be the difference in 2 months? What are they going to say or do? What they're going to do is get more emboldened come December. And when you ask to raise it, they're going to be like, oh, well, we're not going to do it unless we extract what they... From Amy Barrett, did they understand that the Republicans play for keeps? It's all about power. It's not about policy. It's about power.
Absolutely. You know, I'm so disappointed. With that being said, that's one of the reasons why Andrew Yang, right, when we spoke about earlier, he's very disappointed with the Democratic Party and what is happening with the Democratic Party in terms of, the ability. Honestly,
Andrew Yang's another subject. He's just pissed off because he lost the mayoral primary
and the presidential.
And the president.
Right. But he is also highlighting, though, John, some of the things that you're talking about. And the ineffectiveness of the Democratic Party. And I spoke to a friend today. Actually, you know her. I could call her, well, some people know her name, so I'm not going to call her name. Right? Who says that she's looking forward to voting the first time this year for a Republican. And she's a city person, so she's looking forward to voting for a Republican. She's a political person that has worked on so many Democratic campaigns. but she now cannot wait to vote Republican.
Wow.
This is the MO. This is the constant MO. This is why we're stuck at the border.
We got to do better.
This is the stuff if like Afghanistan.
Mhm.
We and ladies
COVID,
and gentlemen, villagers,
the border,
this internal
Haiti.
fighting between the progressives and the Democrats. I mean, you know what? It just shows you when it happens, man. Democrats get in power, they want everything. They want everything but the kitchen sink. And then it comes to the point where they realize they can't get it, and then they can't govern. And then the Republicans come in, they take over, and then you see government run the way it is because they have backbone. They are willing to. They have backbone and convictions. Although their convictions may be off, but they believe in what they believe, and their belief is to have ultimate power.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's power.
I'm not willing to compromise.
Not willing to compromise.
Right.
We always want to compromise. We sit back and let them do what the hell they want to do.
Yep.
This whole debt thing, I would let it expire.
Yeah, and if people fail to realize on the Republican side, Trump raised the debt
3 times.
Right? He raised the debt. He created more of a deficit under in his 4 years than under Obama.
He added $9 trillion to the deficit.
Yep. And then they complain about what Obama did when he got a surplus. When he came in, Obama had a debt and he came out having a surplus. But again, right, like you say, the Republicans paid for keep. All my Republican friends were all excited about the tax break and blah, 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 blah. And when they turned around and they look at what debt it added, right?
They don't hear a word from
nothing at all. Not even a peep. Speaking of the Republicans, they went into Texas. They went into Texas and did the abortion, and they had a 6-week abortion piece, right? Abortion ban. And so it was yesterday, it was overturned by the federal court in
which is great
in Texas, right? And it was overturned and saying that they cannot it's unlawful prevented for exercising control.
And another form of, another
right.
form
of
control. I
Control.
hear Fox News. I hear all these conservatives. It's the mandates. People should be free to make a determination of what they want to take the vaccine or not. So I always throw in their face, what about a woman's right to choose? You are going to mandate that she has an abortion. Oh, no, you're going to mandate that she carries this child to term. What about her choice? That's a mandate.
And John, that's a mandate. They add, even if you're raped.
Yeah.
How do you add that in there?
That's a mandate.
Right?
And I don't see you saying anything about that's a woman's right to choose, just like your right to choose whether you vaccine or not. This is nothing but her.
And that's why if you don't want to get vaccinated, you lose your job. That is on you, because it's your right to choose.
Double standard.
Right? Period. I talk about this all the time. Sometimes there are mandates that are in my favor. I agree with. Like, I do agree that you should not smoke in a restaurant because you're making me uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But it's still a mandate because it took away your choice to say whether you smoke a lot or not. When I go to a hotel, I don't want to stay into a hotel room that you were smoking in. So you should have your own section. You decide where I don't believe a chronic smoker needs to be in a non-smoking room, though. I don't believe in that. I believe you created the mess, or people like you created the mess that you're in. Why? I hate, you understand? But still, that's just my pet peeve right there. That's one of my pet peeves. But at the end of the day, don't pick and choose. And then when the next party does that, you start complaining, oh, that party is bad. It wasn't bad when you were doing it, so it's not bad because I'm doing it. And you want to do all these different things and make these complaints. Yo, that's a problem. I
want to add to what you're saying in regards to abortion rights, that they believe in pro-life all the way. Not saying that no one disagreed with, having a child or anything to that extent, but they're quick to also execute people. So respecting life.
Yeah, exactly. They believe in the death penalty. Yes.
Right. respecting life in general should be equal all over, but not controlling what happens to a female body. You know, if you know you're going to have an abortion because it's either life or death and you can't do it, you know, you're mandating that the hospitals or anywhere can't do it, just let you die, you know, hey, that's way too much overstep, you know, way too much control over what I do with my life. And then quick to say, hey, we're going to kill this person, execute the first black person there, you know, that do a little bit of crime or whatever crime period, but you know, punish a female who get violated, raped and everything, and is forced to actually have a child. So it's such a big double standard right there.
Yeah, I agree with Eddie. Republicans are hypocrites, and they'll do and say anything to be in power. Yep, they agree with you this moment, and when they get elected, right?
The Democrats are the same way too.
Nah, no,
Yes.
the Democrats to me are not the same way.
They're heroes. Democrats
No, they're not heroes. I don't look at them as heroes. I look at them like no. I look at them as
Promises, false
they're too much
promises.
appeasers,
That's what I'm saying.
right?
Heroes usually do that. Villains can do whatever they want and just relax. Like
And watch what comes from it.
exactly. That's
Yeah,
why they get so many things.
I mean, I know some Democrats who are hardline. That I know, right? Although I don't like her much, I'm not a fan of AOC, but she's hardline. She's hardline. Bernie Sanders is hardline. On most issues, not all, but most. He'll vote the way, like, he's uncompromised, especially when you look at universal health care, right? There's certain things. So Yvette is unwavering about how she feels about the Caribbean,
Right.
and what says going. So I wouldn't make a blanket statement that they do the same thing, but the Democrats are easier to compromise.
Too damn easy to compromise.
I was, oh, speaking of which,
Uh-oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
oh, two things. When we talk about the schools and the vaccine, and we talk about the mandates, right? 95% of all New York City school staff are vaccinated. And you know what's interesting, John? The people who are not vaccinated, not obviously not everybody, but the larger number of people who are not vaccinated are the people who make the least amount of money. 95. They don't look at me like that. The principal of the building who makes the most money in your building is number one on the vaccination list. You want to hear what percentage of teachers are vaccinated? I mean, the principals are vaccinated. 98% of principals are vaccinated. 98%. You want to hear what the starting salary for a teacher is? I mean, for a principal? If you're in middle school, I believe it's 148 for elementary, 154 for middle, and 160 something for high school. And 98% of all principals are vaccinated. You know who's number two? Assistant principals. You know who's number three? Guidance counselors. And number four are teachers. The people who make the most money are the ones who are not, who are not vaccinated? The safety agents, the school aides, the paras. They make the least money. I don't know the exact number. I think maybe, I don't know if Andre can disaggregate the number and tell you. The people who make the least amount of money in the building are not obviously not everybody, because I said 98%, right? So that means 2% of principals are not vaccinated, right? So, but the people that need the money the most are the ones who are not. I spoke to a principal the other day. She's like 20%, 20 staff members didn't come to work, or not come to work on Monday. Guess why? And guess who they were? 95% of those people were all paras. Okay? So let's get real. And to me, that's a problem. Now, Northwell, I don't know who are the Northwell people. The HHAs don't want to be vaccinated, and the what do you call? What's the next level on the nurse? The primary care. What do you call them? We used to call them nurses aid, but they're not they're tied anymore.
CNA.
Those people again are the larger number of people who are not vaccinated. It's not the nurse. The nurse will complain, but they're going to get, because they're not losing $150,000. They're just not. Right? So people were, and the other thing is a larger percentage of Black and brown people is a larger percentage. That's also, to me, so when we had this conversation about the vaccine, and I'm going to leave the vaccine conversation alone after this comment, and you guys can chime wherever you want to chime in. The vaccine is not a racial issue.
Who said it was?
Because the majority of Black folks, the majority, not numerically, because a lot of time people mistake the numbers. When you say something like a larger number, the percentage of Blacks who don't take the vaccine is greater than the percentage of white. Not a raw number, because there are more whites in America than there are Blacks, or more people consider themselves white than Blacks, right? So the vaccine is given and taken by all races. So it's not something to deplete the Black population. It's not something that says, if you're Black, you need to take it. If you're white, you don't need to take it. If you're Spanish, if you're Chinese, whatever, it's you need to take the vaccine.
Right.
They don't say at Northwell, if you're Black, you must take it. If you're white, you don't have to. It's, if you're working for Northwell, take the vaccine or lose your job. But who's the person, and a large percentage dropping out? The Blacks and the Blacks and Latinos.
Right.
So that's a problem. But hey, who am I?
Right.
That's right. Who are you?
You know, who am I? So I just want people, my thing is, I want people to actually look at what the real reality is when we talk about social media, just throwing things out there. You have to know the reality before you speak. I'm not saying you don't take the vaccine. And, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you don't want to take it, that's fine. But don't justify your reasoning through things that are not real. Right? It's not a racial issue, the stupid vaccine. How could it be if we're all going to take it? Lynching is a racial issue. Right? Jim Crow law is a racial issue. Disenfranchisement when you come to voting, when they don't want to give a Black person a mortgage, that's a racial issue. The school system sometimes is a racial issue, depending where it is, because some schools are not getting equitable treatment.
Right. True.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So those things are racial issues. Why is it so forever that the Black, Latino, brown school, why are these students are almost always at the bottom? Why are the majority of them in special ed? Why and again, I'm going by percentage, people. I'm not going by raw number. Don't look at me like I'm saying everyone. I'm going by percentage, not raw number. Right. As a matter of fact, I think I don't even know the number, but I believe even the raw number of Black and brown are still higher in special education than whites and Chinese.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so. We did do a study a while back, and I believe that is actually factual.
Right.
Right. But also the majority of the school system is Black and brown too. Right. The Jews, a lot of Jews go to private school. The whites go to private school, especially in Manhattan, where central Manhattan. They go to the school, Park Slope. A lot of them go to private schools. You now have a movement of Blacks going to charter schools as opposed to public schools. So that's why a lot of schools are underpopulated. A lot of public schools are now underpopulated and can't hit it because of the increase in number of charter schools, which is
also a lot of people moved out of the state.
Yep, that's why New York lost a
good amount of
a congressional seat. Yeah.
So
that's
peace.
That's a good point. But there was something else I wanted to ask about. Let me see if I could go.
There was something else that happened this week.
The trust issue.
Oh, Simone, I need to ask you a question. I don't know if I asked you last. Was that you? I think I sent you a text. Was that you? I saw your commercial on the vaccine. Was that your commercial, Simone? I saw you, and I was looking at TV. I said that looks like Simone, but I think I only saw the commercial once, right? And I glimpsed at it. So I want to know, is that you? Yes, it is a trust issue for the minority community, but a trust issue. It's not about. Oh, it is you. Look at you, superstar. Look at you. We talking about. We want to get on television, and I wish you. Do you have a copy of the commercial? If you have a copy, it lasts about 30 seconds. If we get a copy, send it, text it to, WhatsApp it to me. I give it to Andrea, see if we can get it on screen so they can show you. She's in support of the vaccine, and that was a commercial about that. I lost my train of thoughts, Joanne. You're not helping me.
You know what? But also what we need to. Hey, let's remind our villagers. The general election is November 2nd.
Yep.
November 2nd. Remember
Tuesday.
That's
November
It's the first Tuesday in November. So it's
First
early
Tuesday.
this year. It's early this year.
It's early this year.
Go
First
out.
Tuesday in
Mhm.
November.
Don't think that the
And
it.
who's running for mayor? Do you know who's running for
Yeah,
mayor?
some guy named Eric Adams and Curtis Sleeper. That's what I was saying. I was asking the audience a question.
Who? Some the name Eric Adams and
Eric Adams.
Curtis
Yeah.
Lewis?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I have a question
And
out there,
who's-
and I
who's-
need your.
Who's Eric Adams?
Is the Brooklyn Borough president?
He's a Brooklyn Borough president.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
How long has he been in office?
since 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
2006. All right. Simone, did you get that commercial up? So I have a question, John.
Did you see his commercial?
Who, Eric?
Yeah, Eric
No, I
Adams
didn't
commercial.
see it. I didn't
Very
see it.
interesting commercial.
Honestly, I have not been able to watch baseball. I mean, I haven't been watching TV. I was watching the baseball.
Yeah.
Very disappointed with the Giants.
They lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, you should watch that commercial by Eric Adams.
Well, maybe we could get it and show it on the screen.
Yes.
Equal. We Curtis Lever. If he has one too, we can show it out there.
I don't think he
Yes,
has one.
please.
Good.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
There's also Orly Bode. Yes, Orly
Early
Bode.
for October 23rd, I believe.
It's like 12 days before. And then there's absentee ballot. You're requesting the absentee ballot.
Make sure you request your absentee ballot, villagers.
Okay. All right, Simone. Look for it so I can get it. So I have a question out there, John and Joanne. And I was asking some people this question. So I want to know, audience, how do you feel about I am the chair of the transportation committee for our local community board. So I'm doing a free plug for me. Can I do a free plug?
No.
No? We'll do it anyway. All right. What do you guys, they want to put more bike lanes in.
Oh God.
So, and people keep putting these things in, these bike lanes in. And I don't see anybody in the community. I have not spoken to a single person who said that they need to add more bike lanes. What do you guys think? Or anybody out there in the audience? Let's know what you think. What about these bike lanes? John, what's your thought?
I think we don't need any
Don't
more
give me a
bike
political
lanes.
answer, though.
I don't think we need any more bike lanes. I think, first of all, there needs to be rules. There needs to be rules and regulations for these bike riders, because they not only ride,
Yes.
there's a bike lane, but then they come over into the main lane. You have to watch out when you're opening your doors. They
curse you out?
They curse you out. They don't wear a helmet. They constantly cut in between vehicles. So I am not a fan of any more bike lanes.
I
Joanne?
second that.
Yeah,
I second
I've
that.
not spoken to, but yet still, for some reason, they're talking about it. They're talking about there's a need. I'm going to bring up some of these comments. You know what I keep saying?
Parking. They take away the parking. They take away
Parking,
the.
that's another issue.
And
What
another thing,
what
you
my
only
issue
one
is,
lane.
right? What my issue is, John and Joanne, is I feel that it's another revenue source, because they're trying to tell you, right, including the bus lanes. That's my other pet peeve. The bus lane should not be that long, because all you're doing is looking at a financial source for the city. And whose back is it going on more primarily? The people of color.
Oh,
Right?
I wanted to add, the school cameras, it's 24 hours now. It's
No,
no,
it's 24 hours.
it's
Since
24
when? I thought it was till
hours.
10 o'clock.
No, since last month, 24 hours now, my friend. So
I gotta look that up. That's just crazy. School is now open 24 hours. So it's also a revenue source. What are you doing, John? Seriously. You're supposed to be out there having rallies, right? Having rallies to cut it out. And honestly, I believe that the new mayor will be putting in more cameras. Unfortunately. Because it's income bearing. It's a revenue source.
No, it's also basically taxing the poor.
Yeah, it is.
Taxing
That's
the
exactly what
poor,
it is.
Taxing the middle class. That's
My
one of the
brother,
taxes.
we own a mechanic shop, right? At the beginning of the month and the end of the month, he makes business because we do car registration. And not registration, with inspection.
I can wait the shop. I need inspection.
Yeah, well, right.
Where's the shop, man?
Right on Utica, across from
Utica
Dennis
way.
Shipping, right?
Okay.
All right. So easy, if you need a car,
What's
you
the
need
name?
anything easy.
Easy.
Right.
Easy.
His dad. Right. So get this at the beginning of the month, first of the month, right? So he there's no parking on Utica Avenue.
None.
So therefore, the bus lane, which is so underutilized, yes, he needs to use, people will park to get their inspections. They're parking like 10, 15 minutes. But because of this stupid bus lane, he loses business. What does he do? Right? Oh, and Andre I got you. Andre just pull up that, yes, Joanne, the mayor's asking for 24/7 school safety. What school safety 24 hours a day?
But villagers, that's a conversation for next week. Roger,
That's your favorite
take us
comment,
out.
right? Last comments, Joe?
Have a wonderful week. Be safe. Enjoy life. Peace.
John?
Great weekend. Happy Columbus Day.
Happy
And
birthday.
wish your mama a happy and your family happy. Have a
Thank
Indigenous People Day.
And also, we're still celebrating Hispanic
It's the Hispanic Heritage.
Heritage Month until next week.
Yes.
We'll have a few people for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for watching, listening, viewing, hearing us on The Village right here every Thursday. I am Roderick Daly, your host, with John Sampson to my left, Joanne Bryant to my right, Sophia Wallacey in studio, and Andre, our executive producer in studio.
Big up to our producers.
And
Yes.
Sophia Willisey behind the scenes. Thank you for watching us, where we are dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, at any point, starting from today. Success is not just spoken,
It is done.
it is done. God
Peace.
bless. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Bye-bye. Have a great week.
Let them know.